Will the DEA be ruining telemedicine? On February 24th, the DEA announced proposed rules for prescribing controlled substances via telemedicine after the COVID-19 public health emergency expires. The proposed rules were open for public comment for only 30 days, after which the DEA would presumably issue final regulations. The proposal created two new limited options for telemedicine prescribing of controlled substances without a prior in person exam. The options were complex, they were more restrictive than what we had gotten used to during the past 3 years under the COVID waivers. The DEA's proposal would discontinue the ability for telemedicine prescribing of controlled substances where the patient has never had an in person exam, with the exception of a prescription period of no more than 30 days. The initial reaction is that the rules were more restrictive than necessary and imposed concerning limitations and burdens on clinics, clinicians, and patients that they treat. In response to more than 38,000 comments on the proposal, the DEA and the Department of Health and Human Services submitted a draft temporary rule to the Office Management of Budget that provides a temporary extension of the telehealth flexibilities for controlled substance prescriptions. Details about that draft will become public after it's published in the Federal Register. I don't know when that will be. So what does that mean? What that means for us right now is that nothing changes. We're still able to treat telemedically, TRT. There's nothing happening. It could be weeks, it could be months, it could be a year before we hear anything else. But even with the rules as restrictive as they were proposed to be, we are still able to do it without flying to Florida, without, I mean, there are more hoops to jump through, but it is still possible. And what this implies, them delaying this rulemaking, heavily implies that they're not going to be as restrictive as they were in the proposal. So they gave us worst case scenario right up front. We responded to it and they said, oh, okay, we're going to think about this and take your consideration seriously. So if they do change something in the next 12 months, it will be less restrictive than the proposal that we already prepared for. We know how to treat you and how to continue doing telemedicine with worst case scenario. So we'll definitely be able to do it with a better scenario.